Today we have the all-new Tahoe RST Performance Edition, and this thing is extra juicy. This is literally the hot rod version of the Tahoe that you can currently buy today. You've got the big V8, you've got some police spec tuning to this suspension, so it takes some cues from that police Tahoe SUV. And today we're going to take a full detailed look at the exterior, the interior, and get it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get started. Welcome everyone, let's take a look at all the exterior details of this Tahoe RST Performance model. So right up front, the RSTs in particular are going to give you this dark black grille. It's a glossy black grille. All of them are going to give you the LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, including that LED turn signal that transitions over here with that daytime running light. Tahoe also gives us little air curtains on the side here. And the paint color on this one is the radiant red tint coat. We see this quite a bit with Chevrolet, and I think it looks nice, especially with these dark accents on here. So we've got these 20-inch black wheels. They're kind of a gloss black, and this red brake caliper is also part of this RST Performance, and we got Brembo brakes on here, which are actually larger than the regular RST. Dimensionally, the Tahoe is about 211 inches long, and there's a few things that make this one extra special. So this RST Performance is going to give us police spec springs, retuned dampers, and chassis calibrations. It also has the police spec lower ride height, so almost half an inch lower in the front and 0.8 inches in the back, and it's going to delete the luggage rack up above. Coming to the back, we get LED taillights. We've got an incandescent turn signal here, but these taillights do look nice. You've got some black badging on here, and then we've got this dual outlet exhaust, which is actually the catback performance exhaust, which you'll hear in a little bit. Now coming to the cargo area, this is improved over the last generation, and one thing that we get with this model is the hands-free liftgate. This is available on, I think, pretty much everything except the base model. That is pretty cool. Chevy now gives us over 25 cubic feet behind the third row. So this is actually still pretty well accommodating, definitely no minivan, but you've got a good amount of space here, and it's not super steep there to where you can actually stand up some cargo and still have enough room, which is great. You also have the ability to fold these seats down, which I'll show you in a second. The only thing I wish that we had back here, one nice thing is we have little tie downs for a cargo net or a cargo cover, and to tie something down with a big tie down like that, but we don't have any like little grocery bag hooks or anything like that. Now underneath of here you get an extra little storage space, and under the vehicle is your full-size spare tire. Chevrolet also gives us a 3-prong outlet back here. But watch this, I can fold these third row seats down. So let's try the right side. Gotta hold the button down. Now let's go with the left side. So you've got a power folding seat here with this RST Performance. Now behind the second row, you've got over 72 cubic feet, and this is a nice flat load floor. But we also have buttons to fold the second row down. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can go to the second row, kick it completely up out of the way like that one, or use the buttons back here, push that, and it's not folding down. I tried it on that side and it wasn't working either, so let me go show you up there. So these must be very picky in a specific spot that they have to be in to fold, but let me pull this, and that just sits down right on the floor, and it gives you a nice flat load floor, and you got over 100 cubic feet now with this folded down, and that is nice and in line with the second or the third row. Here's a better look right here. That looks pretty good. All right, also we get the fairly recent key fob from GM. We've got remote start on here. It feels nice. It doesn't have that soft rubbery material on it like the last generation. And the smart key system is standard on here. You've got this to lock it or to unlock it. And when you lock it, you've got power folding mirrors. There's no sensor in the back like some vehicles, but you also get the smart key available on the back as well, on the back door. Now climbing into the front seat, so we've got some extra unique stitching here. We've got a little bit of red stitching right here. These are some leather seats. You've got some more stitching right there. These are 10-way power adjustable seats. They feel nice and soft right here too. And then coming down, you've just got 2-way lumbar and your regular height and tilt adjustment. With this RST model, we've got this power tilt and telescoping steering wheel here. And the steering wheel is also going to be heated and fully leather wrapped. My only complaint with GM steering wheels is that they're just completely circular here. I wish we had a little bit more bulk or thickness to it, like some, but it's okay. By the AC controls, Chevy gives us heated seats. So we've got the back or the butt, or just the back button. So that's nice to differentiate that. And these seats are comfortable enough. They're not the most comfortable, especially at this price point. There's no massage function in this one. There's no ventilated seats. You got to move up to the upper trims if you want ventilated seats. But we also get 2-position memory settings on this RST model. Now climbing into the third row. First of all, over on the door, you've got soft materials up above, a little storage area there, and a bottle holder down low. And then we have a grab handle to get in here. The passenger up front has a grab handle, but the driver does not. We've got this entertainment system option on here, so both sides get these pretty large entertainment screens, and you can kind of put what you want on there because you've got some HDMI ports if you want to plug in different items. Plus, you've got a couple of USB-C charging ports and your own air conditioning control back here for an automatic climate control. Not to mention, we also get 3-tier heated seats on these outboard rear seats. And if you do bring your own device to plug in, you've got a 3-prong outlet down there. Plus, we've got cup holders behind the center console and nothing in the inside. So you could put a console in here if you want, or just leave it open for extra space. Air conditioning vents are right overhead, and I honestly like these. You can angle them at you really well. Kids can't mess with them. It works pretty good. In the middle here, these armrests just fall flat. They don't ratchet or anything like that. These second row seats can scoot forward and backwards, and sitting behind myself at 5'9", I've got, of course, good foot space and good knee space. And there's a ton of headroom in here, and you can also recline, so you can have some nice, comfy, reclined, and heated second row seats. Now to get into the third row, we've got labels on here. First, pull this once, and it pops down nice and flat. So if you're loading things, that's actually really nice. And then pull it again, and it releases completely to give you a huge area to get in. Now this third row seat is a 3-seater. You've got little tiny cup holders on each side and a USB-C charging port right there. And if your seatbelt is jiggling and rattling, you can latch it onto this little hook right here. Now obviously you could leave those seats folded forward like that, or leave it folded down and have like a leg rest, or even if it is all the way back in its track. I'm 5'9", like I said. I can still sit here with some knee room, and this seat could be moved forward to give this person even more space. I'm not gonna lie, this vent right here is pumping out some air. They also get air conditioning vents right here, so this is great. Third row gets their own lights, their own charging ports, AC vent, and there's good headroom here too. This is definitely adult worthy for this third row. You don't need the Suburban. And to get out, there's a little button over there that will fold that seat out of the way just like that. Now climbing inside, this interior is definitely more modern than the previous generation Tahoe. First of all, over on the door, your memory settings are right there. You've got some nice trim, soft material up here, a soft armrest, extra little storage, and a decent storage area down there. This little bottle holder is not necessarily big enough for wide mugs, but most other things fit. And Chevrolet gives us a ton of buttons over here, from electronic parking brake to your 4-wheel drive controls, including an auto 4-wheel drive, which I love in the wintertime. 360 camera shortcut, lane keeping system, parking sensors, auto stop start to shut off, your interior light controls and your exterior light controls. And this mode button is actually your drive mode button. Now right here, this display is definitely something new for GM. So they give us a pretty large display. It's about 12 inches diagonally, 12.3 inches for this cluster. And there's a bunch of information just like before. And this MPG, so I've put 148 miles on it. That's my MPG so far. Obviously not great, but not terrible for such a huge vehicle with a V8. You can customize what you see on here, just like you could before. Lots of different information. And now you can still move across like this, but you can also change the layout here. So this is the classic layout. Progressive makes things look a little bit more modern, and digital really kind of modernizes things with no gauges at all. And then clean just isolates things into the middle. And you can also change, I like to just kind of keep it on classic, but you can also change a few different things, what's on the left side or the right side. This one doesn't have a head-up display. You might wonder what that little opening is. That's just the alert system. It will flash red lights if it thinks you're going to run into something. Then coming over here, we actually get this push button shifter. So park, reverse, you pull for reverse and drive, push for the others, and even have a low range button right there. This screen is a 10.2 inch display. So it sits up high, it's easy to reach, kind of tablet style. You've got shortcuts on this side over here. You've also got a menu that you can scroll through, and this has Google built in. Home button is right there. I like how you even have stuff for trailering, because a lot of people probably will trailer in here. A Wi-Fi hotspot in here as well. You can somewhat customize what you have on here, and Google Assistant can be used to do different tasks for you or tell you different things. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. You've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. And I like that because we have a wireless charging mat right down there. Now I gotta be honest, this one gets a 9-speaker Bose system, and the GMC Sierra AT4X that I was recently in had an upgraded Bose sound system. This Tahoe gets the 9-speaker Bose or the 10-speaker Bose, and this 9-speaker Bose sounds better than that Bose system in that GMC Sierra. Just saying. Down from there, we've got actual physical controls. I love that Chevy still gives us physical controls like a volume knob, tuning knob. You don't really even have to touch the screen. You can just move this dial and it can move things on the screen for you. But you still have a home button, a seek button, a back button. Then you got dual zone climate control down here. You can sync it up right there. You can control your fan speed. It still has enough physical controls, but you still have the digital display convenience up here too. Cup holders are typical GM. You've got these rubber inserts in here that can wear out and don't accommodate the widest drinks. Even something like this is kind of snug in there, but you want it to be snug too, I guess. You've got a little spot right here, just kind of rubber liner to put something on there if you want. Otherwise, a nice soft armrest. It's got this nice texture. I really like this kind of textured sensation right here. Lift this up out of the way and you just have an open bin right here. And you might be wondering, what are these arrows right here? We don't have a sunroof in this model, to my surprise, but when I push those arrows, watch this. Look at that. You've got space right here, so you can get into this area, moving the center console back. And there's a bonus. Pull this out of the way, you've got an extra tray. This is really cool. I like this. But this is electronic. If it doesn't work and you got something important down there, yikes, don't put anything important down there. And one more thing, this little center top can actually slide forward too, which reveals a little bit more right back there. Got a hidden storage door right there for just a little cubby. Plus we've got a locking glove box down here, soft opening. Automatic dimming rearview mirror. You might have seen the mirror camera before. That's not on this particular model, but as we go right up overhead, a couple of cool things. So you've got LED interior lights. We've got 3 garage controls right here. You can open up your lift gate and you can also fold the 3rd row seat. Check that out. So you don't have to do anything, just basically lift a finger. Okay, now under the hood is part of what makes this particular Tahoe extra special. It still has the 6.2 liter V8, of course, but it actually has more power and torque now. So this direct injected V8 gets 433 horsepower and 467 pound-feet of torque paired with their 10-speed automatic, and it is 4-wheel drive standard. Some performance specs from Chevy, things have been improved in terms of its speed, its quickness, its agility with its suspension, but 0 to 60 time here is 5.78 seconds. The regular RST is just under 6. Quarter mile is 14.2 seconds. Top speed is 12 miles per hour over the regular RST. And its braking distance from 60 to 0 is 6 feet less than the regular RST too. So it's not just an aesthetic. This is actually performance under the hood with its suspension and its chassis. And towing remains the same at 7,600 pounds, just like the regular RST model. Miles per gallon? Don't ask. All right, y'all, we are now behind the wheel of this Tahoe RST Performance Edition, and I can't wait for you to hear what this sounds like. It's quite impressive for a Tahoe and just for an SUV in general. This V8 sounds nice, that exhaust sounds nice, and you can hear quite a bit of that in here. So I've driven the regular Tahoe before that had, I think I've driven a 5.3 and a 6.2, and this one's a 6.2 with even a little more juice under the hood, so I can't wait to get on it for you. But my first impression is it feels kind of right off the bat, it honestly feels a little bit stiffer than the regular Tahoes, and that makes sense because of the changes to the chassis and the suspension. So if you're focused on comfort, you're probably not going to be getting this one, but just an FYI. Even just little throttle right there. I mean, it's not much and it gets you up to speed pretty quick. I love that it's a naturally aspirated engine. It's not like a Hellcat, but I don't need a Hellcat. This thing is still fun without being over the top. All right, just a little bit more throttle here. So that 10-speed, even without flooring, it was just a little bit of throttle down. In normal mode, we'll go through the different drive modes. In normal mode, it was a little bit laggy. It took a while to kick down and get us moving. But steering wise, handling, as far as that goes, it doesn't feel like it's necessarily sporty. It doesn't really have a sporty feel in that regard. It's going to handle better because of the suspension, but the way the actual steering wheel feels, nothing too crazy. And like I said, it does feel a little bit more stiff than a regular Tahoe. There's some undulation, some bumps right up here that we hit sometimes, and when you get on roads that are kind of bumpy like this, you feel the stiffness of this vehicle. It's not bad, but just something to note. The other thing about this Tahoe is it's got improved braking. So they changed the way the brakes feel for a more performance-oriented feel, and they actually gave you larger front brakes, which does slow it down a little bit faster than the regular RST. Now, drive mode selectors down there. Let's go into sport mode. Why not? Pedal down. Not bad. It is fun to drive. Got a good sound. Even when you just get on it a little bit, you've got that sound that comes out right away. It's a little bit more, responsive in sport mode. The RPMs are going to stay a little higher, so a little throttle, kick down a little bit quicker than it would have previously. Get on the brake, and it does grab pretty well too. It's got a nice bite to it. Handling, it still feels like a big vehicle. Obviously, it's got some weight in the turns, that's for sure. It's not something you want to carve mountains with, but I tell you what, these brakes get you slowed down really fast. Let's get one more acceleration here. And there's no slippage in this thing. It just goes. And it is going to be four-wheel drive standard. You've got your drive controls down there. I like that. You can get adaptive cruise control. We've got that on here. You've got blind spot monitoring, a lane keeping system. It's not a lane centering technology or like the Super Cruise, but it still works as far as lane departure goes. Ergonomics in here is still good. I mean, you've got regular Tahoe ergonomics coupled with performance that you probably wouldn't expect. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not gonna be, you've heard the 0 to 60 time. It's not like a 4-second Hellcat kind of thing. It is still fun and sounds good though, and that's really what matters and what Chevy was going for with this. Something to spice it up a little bit. Let's get one more little throttle out here on this rougher road. Go. Sounds pretty good. One thing about this particular Tahoe is the road noise is a little more pronounced than I was expecting. Obviously this is a rough road, but compared to some of my other vehicles, it's still quiet. But we don't have laminated glass. There is some road noise that gets in, probably partially because of the tires and the suspension changes, but that is what it is. Let's go ahead and wrap things up. To wrap things up on this Tahoe RST Performance Edition, it is definitely fun. I mean, it just sounds fun, it drives fun, it's got good power, but it still has the same family space and practicality that you would expect in a Tahoe. But here's the thing, it is definitely expensive, starting at around $80,000 with this Performance Edition here. So would you buy this particular Tahoe to get a fun, powerful family SUV, or just go for the regular Tahoe RST? Leave your comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this Tahoe. Subscribe for more. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good day.